right, guys. So I got this thing. It's a longer 3D resin-based printer. So 3D printer, and it makes cool stuff like that, guys. Look at that. That's crazy. What? I've been having a lot of fun with this thing, guys. I've been wanting a 3D printer for a while. I had worked for a company. Look at this baby Yoda. Came out pretty cool, huh? Pretty cool. Anyway, I still got to paint this stuff, guys. This is just like the raw print. I still have to file down some pieces. That's part of the 3D printing, is that there's the post where you have to kind of file it down, make it look all nice and pretty. So anyway, but other than that, pretty stoked on how everything just came out. These are my first prints, guys, on this. And I've only worked with a PLA 3D printer, which is one of the spool types, you know, that comes through an extruder, it heats up, and then kind of goes and kind of spools it out. Which is great, but as I can show you, prints are way different. I don't know if you can see the detail, but you can, it's hard to get nice, clean surfaces. There's always going to be rough, and it's almost near impossible to file that down the way you want to. So I had postponed getting one of those because I didn't want to spend a lot of money on something I knew just wouldn't print out something high quality. And so now I got this, and this is like crazy, guys. Look at that. That's right out of the printer. I haven't even put any paint on it, anything after I file this down. This is gonna look really nice. So anyway, very stoked on this. So this video right here is about the longer 3D printer and me unboxing it, going through the software, setting it up, and getting some of these first prints out. Things to remember. When you first get this part of the box is a little bit tricky to put together. It's not really that bad, but it's held together by these rubber bands. I'm not sure why they did that, but that would be my only suggestion to longer, is like maybe figure this out a little bit better. I think that's, even though it's not, this just protects the UV from getting inside to the resin, but I don't know. I just think it would be something cooler to add. Everything else, awesome. Super, super easy to use. You'll see in the coming video. And the prints just are awesome. Like I said, I have to still do the post work. I'm new to the resin thing, and then painting with miniature paints is going to be different. But anyway, let's hop into the unboxing. But before we do, guys, please hit the like and the subscribe button. Not only are we going to be doing tutorials on classic stuff like Photoshop and Premiere and Illustrator, and also phone, mobile app filmmaking, but now, yeah, we're going to be doing some of this too, because not only are we going to be printing stuff out, we're actually going to be turning these into molds so that we can actually duplicate these over and over again. So this will be a fun journey. Hopefully you'll like it. And anyway, let's get into the video. Okay, guys, I got it all cleaned up over here. This is going to become the 3D lab area. Anyway, got the longer, this is the orange 10, so this is the smaller one, not the orange 30, but this is a resin 3D printer, and resin 3D printers are freaking awesome. So, I have some stuff from like a PLA. Well, you guys know what it looks like. Anyway, so I'm going to unbox this right now. Let me set this up so it's easier for you guys to watch. And then we'll come back hopefully when it's all set up. Oh, back here I got the, this is the resin. I got the gray resin from Longer. And this is some alcohol that I'm going to be putting in the Tupperware. So after the print, you wash it all off. It is messy. So anyway, we'll get to that point. I'm going to unbox this right now. Yes. So it looks like we got some basic info. I think this is like the manual. Yeah, this gives us a basic. Right now, I think this is the manual. So we'll take a look at this in a second. Put that out to the side. It's packaged pretty nicely. Okay, this is a strainer. It's a 3M strainer. I believe this is for the resin so that if you have extra, you can pour this through back into the container to save it, which is pretty awesome. So anyway, we'll put that down. Okay, I think we're getting to the business now. Okay, so we got some components here. All right, we got one big piece here, and it has a bunch of components in it. So I'm thinking that is part of stuff we're going to need. So I'm going to put that over here for right now. And I believe this is the main part here. Let's see, should we open it from the bottom? Let me see if I should take that on the outside for a second, because I think it might be easier to actually get it from the bottom, because the base is down here, and I don't want to mess up any of the calibration. So I'm going to just make sure that I can maybe just slide it out from the bottom, which I think will be much easier to do. Okay, so I'm going to tilt this up. I feel like one is coming out. All right. All right. So they have these nice braces in here. These really nice braces. Well packaged, I gotta say. Very well packaged. So let's finish this up here. See when this comes up. Put that to the side. And that's that 3D printer right there. Out. Put that to the side. As you can see, really well packaged. I gotta say, I wasn't expecting it to be actually so nicely packaged. I'm actually pleased to see that. I think this will come out. And there we have it, people. There is the longer 3D printer. I have it sitting on a cardboard piece that came with it right now. But anyway, that's that. I think this, I'll move this back just a little bit for right now. This, I believe, has the, I think this is the shell that goes around it. So I'm gonna have to put this together to put that around there. And then I believe I'm going to have to set all this other stuff up to make sure it's going to work. But anyway, this is how it came, guys. Looks really nice. You know, I got to say, very impressed on all the packaging. So let me get looking at this. Let me get cracking at this, and we'll be back. All right. Okay, so we got the box put together, as you see. We have these rubber bands that kind of hold it together, but it's fine. This will keep the UV light out of the resin so it doesn't cure before it needs to. So put that off to the side. First thing you have to do is turn it on. Back here is the switch. Go ahead and switch it on. Down here, you're going to have two settings. Right when it pops up, it's going to say File, when it's going to say Setting. Hit the setting, which is on the right. It's going to give you four more choices. Move is the one that we want. You also have LED, About, and to go back to the last setting. So what we want to do is move, because we want to move this up so we can get this VAT out to level out the printer so that we have the leveling all set. Over here, when you hit that move button, it takes you into a choice of three. There's up, down, and then by how much? 1 millimeter up to 50 millimeters. I'm going to do by 50 because it's just easier to move that way. It moves faster. And then you hit this button right here, which is to the left, to move it up. So So let's do that. And that seems like it's high enough for me to get out this piece. So now what we want to do is take out this vat. There's 2 screws here on the side of the resin vat, and what you want to do is unscrew those. Take them totally out, but almost there. And let me get this almost there. Okay, we're going to put those screws right there for the time being. Now we have the resin vat. This is the resin vat. There is like an epoxy at the bottom here. One thing to note, I saw another video by a guy named Phil Nolan, and he told me that the epoxy glass, the plexiglass here at the bottom that goes to the bottom sometimes is not tight enough. So I'm looking for the screws he was talking about, and I think these are them. There's little Allen wrenches that come with your kit. There's 3 of them. I believe this is the middle size. I'm just going to go around to make sure that everything's nice and tight. I don't want to have any kind of leaks, because what I heard is that if these are loose, the resin will get on this part, which is where your UV light is, and you definitely do not want that to happen. I have this piece of paper here too, because when we level it, we're going to actually do that to protect that glass. But I'm going to go around and I want to tighten up all these screws to make sure. Yeah, there's some of them are loose, guys. Definitely do this. So when you take this off, make sure that you go around. There's a bunch of Allen screws. Yeah, really tighten them up. Some of them are loose. Some of them are really tight, but some of them are loose. So just a good thing to know. Thank you, Phil Nolan, for pointing that out to people. I appreciate that, because that would have really sucked to have some cured resin on my brand new 3D printer. So word to longer, add that to your instructions, man, because these are loose. There's a couple on here that are really loose. So make sure that this plate has completely tightened up screws to make sure no resin will escape this little vat area. All right, we're getting there. Okay. Okay. Sorry, this is taking a little bit longer than I was expecting. There's a lot of little screws in here I got to make sure are extremely tightened up. We don't want any issues with that. Yeah, there's probably about half of them. Some of them, these ones on the side, are extremely loose. It's not their fault. I'm sure that it's hard to quality control. It looks like 24 different little bolts, little Allen wrench bolts that we have to go through. So, but I'm glad I'm doing this, because that would have sucked. That's why we love YouTube and all the videos that people share, so things are more open source and safer. Anyway, while I'm tightening these up and checking them out, remember, guys, try stuff new. You know, 3D printing is something I've been interested in for quite some time, and I just never pulled the plug, you know, because I had worked for companies that had 3D printers, and I knew that back when I was really interested in it, when I was doing a lot of 3D modeling, I couldn't afford the ones that I wanted, and I just didn't want a crappy one, you know? And a lot of them that were priced like under $500 or under $300 even were really crappy. So you just had a lot of, you know, you had to really work the models afterwards if you really wanted to make something into a mold or something like that. So I lost interest. But now I got a resin printer, and what I've heard and what I've seen from this particular printer is it's pretty balls out. Okay, so let me see here, almost done. It's feeling good, feeling really good. Alright, almost done here. These Allen wrenches suck. Yeah, that one on the side. Woo! I'm gonna have to recheck these a lot. So the ones on the side especially, they really they were loose, man. So I'm glad I got this tightened up. Nothing like a little DIY, right? So, okay, I think we're good. I feel like we got a pretty solid thing going here. A couple more. Yeah. Okay. All right, I think we got this good. So I'm going to put this right here for the moment. And now what we're going to do is level it. And we take this is our build plate right here. And this is going to slide right up here. Okay. Okay, that feels good. I'm gonna take this off of that. Forgot I had that on there. All right, so we want to do this. Now what we want to do is loosen up these ones right here. There's 4 Allen wrenches right here, and we're going to use the thicker one here. And you want to loosen them because you want it to be able to move freely so that when it levels, it'll be able to actually level it, and then we'll re-tighten these up after the leveling has completed.
Gentleman was unresponsive. It was pretty clear. Obviously, for anyone who was there, you could hear people talking about that. And then, just again reading this report, someone checked his pulse and said, "I can't find a pulse." Nobody moved at that point. Paramedics then show up. He's put on a stretcher. You have a person without a pulse now who's unresponsive, and the basic protocol at that point, you start cardiopulmonary resuscitation. You start CPR. None of that happened here, as I've been looking through this video. So, the medical examiner didn't comment on that.
As you can see, it's moving pretty freely now. So that's how you kind of want it to be able to move freely, so that it will be able to level itself out. So put that there. Just going to do it. And now we're going to stick the paper in. Okay, let's take a step. Okay, now we're ready to actually level. The thing's still wiggling here. Anyway, so now we're ready to level it. So on that same menu where you're just moving it up, there on the bottom middle, there's a home button. This is going to send it home to level it. You're going to want to put a piece of paper underneath it so that it protects it, and also helps us test that it is proper level. So I'm going to go ahead and hit this. It's going to ask you, make sure that there's no models or resin tank is not down there, and you're going to hit check, and then it's going to start. So let me put this there. And now it's going to level itself. Okay, now that it's found its level area, what you want to do now is hold down the plate, okay? And you want to tighten up all these screws again. So give me a second to do that.
And people were watching not only the United States and around the world, but all of a sudden on live television, we see that Omar Jimenez is being handcuffed and arrested together with a photojournalist who works with them, the producer who works with them, security guard that CNN had hired to help those our crew there in Minneapolis. And they spent an hour and a half in police custody. Eventually they released them. Governor later apologized. What was your reaction?
My reaction was, he looks like me. And that's what happens in our communities daily. We are guilty until proven innocent. Why couldn't they believe that man when he showed his credentials, when he said he is a CNN respondent, a CNN reporter on the scene? Black people, people with skin that looks like mine, are profiled. We are assumed to be agitators. And so that's exactly what happens. We are underneath the...
That's what you want. You want a little bit of a tug to it. That's good. Okay. That's a good sign. So let's just do final tightens here.
You know, I feel for him because it happens to
Make
people
everything
in
feel
my
good.
every single day. And we're quite frankly very tired of it. We need to see a different model of policing that is inclusive of community.
I know Don Lemon is still with us. He's going to stay with us. Angela, Don has a question for you. He also has a little comment.
Okay.
Reaction to what happened to Omar Jimenez.
I think we're good, people. All right, so now that we have that, let's go ahead and move it back up. So you want to go back to that menu, which already should be there. Click this far right third on the top one so that it moves up a lot, and start moving it up. Let's get that up now. And now we got it. And we're going to go up one more. All right. Keep these tools together, guys. You get a little pack like this, and it's going to have your TF card. We're going to go into that next. Has some gloves and some other cleanup material. Now that we have a level thing, now we're going to put our vat back on. Remember to tighten those screws, guys, all around. I'm so paranoid. I think I'm going to just double check because I want to make sure that there's absolutely no issues, man. I don't want any extra resin getting on my on the actual photo area of this. So make sure you keep it nice and clean, guys. This is messier than working with PLA. I used to work with PLA machines. I have something here I can print it out. You know, here's like something I print out. But if you look up real close, I don't know if you can even see that. Really rough, you know, like the edges are rough. There's a lot of cleanup, man. I can't use that really. So anyway, this is going to be different. It's going to be a lot cleaner. And as far as the print, but making the print is a lot dirtier, and we're going to get into that. And we're going to be wanting to use gloves and all the other stuff. So this looks good, guys. So now we're going to take this and put that back to where it was. Okay.
This is exactly what happens to African American men all the time, and it played out for you in front of the cameras. This is your moment.
And there we have it. We have a leveled machine, guys. The next thing we're going to be doing is adding in the epoxy resin into the vat, and then we're going to pull up some the software. Okay, let's try this again. All right, so I'm in Blender. This is the model that I want to print out. Pretty cool looking little hot rod. And I exported this as an STL file. I will make another video on how to set up this stuff. But anyway, we're gonna now take this into Chitu Box, which is one of the softwares that comes with it. Longerware made their own software, which is really easy to use. But sometimes it crashes on me, and it's just running on an exe file. So I'm gonna go with a more tried and true version. So I'm gonna go with this one. And what I did is basically open up the file, You find what you want, you load it in. Here it is down here at the bottom. It loaded in really tiny because the model was tiny. But over here on the left, you can click on the scale button right here, and there's a button that says scale to fit, and boom, you got a nice big model now. Well, now what I'm going to do is actually probably bring this down if I could. How can I do that? Let's see, it's a little bit big. I don't want to. Let's try and bring it down just a tad. It's a little bit too big. So I'm going to bring it in just a little bit. I want it to be kind of, I think, within these squares on the side, just because sometimes I've had a couple failed prints so far. Mainly because it's the model. It's definitely not the printer, it's the model. But it's hard to see that, and I just want to make sure that there's no added problems. So anyway, so there's the beginning of it. Okay, now what we want to do now is first build the structures for this model, because there's no support structures. So over here in the top, you click this button right here, and you go down here to all. Boop, boop, right there, and it's adding supports, and you'll see them up here. There it is. So this is what the supports now look like for the car. And so when it prints out, this is exactly how it will print out. And after you print out, you're going to have to chop off all these supports. The inner side is going to be a nightmare, but I'll figure it out when I get to that part of crossing the bridge. But that looks pretty badass right there. I'm liking it. Everything seems good. It doesn't seem like it's going outside the lines. Okay, so now up here, we want to go back up to this settings area, but I need to add some holes just in case the resin needs to come out of this. So what you do, I'm going to flip this upside down now, guys, and right up here at the top it says dig hole, and I want to dig a hole. Leave the defaults are fine, and click add a hole, and then you point where you want to put that hole. So I'm going to pop one right there. Let's do one more. Add a hole right there. So we have two holes that I think should drain out. Let's add one more. Add a hole. I'm gonna do it right here in the front. So that way at least the bottom drains out. That way there's no extra resin kind of just sitting inside here uncured. So it didn't seem to do that with some of the other prints. I did the other print with a little Baby Yoda, and it came out solid. So I'm not sure if it's the supports inside or if it did drain out because it's printing upside down, because when this prints up, it's going to print like this, guys. It's going to print upside down first. So this is how it's going to come out of your printer, looking like this. So don't freak out if it doesn't look like this coming out of your printer. Anyway, now all we have to do now is slice this puppy up, and you hit this big button over here that says slice, and now it's slicing, it's thinking. And when it's finished slicing, it's going to show you your little x-ray of your car. So let's see what happens here. It's almost done thinking. Almost there. And now let's check it out. Let's move this over here. Okay, so on this side right here, this is your slice checker. So we get to slice it, and you can see on the left how it's affecting the model. See that? See how it's like as I'm bringing it down? It's almost like a CAT scan. So think of it kind of like a CAT scan. So it's CAT scanning. It's showing you what it's going to print. It looks good all the way. That looks like everything's printing right. Yeah, that looks good. Yeah, it seems like it's going to make it. And there's the bottom. All right. I think we have a solid looking slice. I think we can print this out, guys. So I'm going to hit save. Make sure you install the longer 10 plugin that comes in with your software on the little thumb drive, because you need that to export in the right longer 3D file. So it's an LGS file. That's what you need to export in. I'm going to call this one Fix Hot Rod. And now we're just going to go ahead and save it where it was. And that's going to write the file. And now I'm going to go and print this puppy up. All right, guys, so the first thing we want to do is transfer the model from your computer onto one of these, and then on the side over here, there is a place to put it in. Be careful, there's push towards the bottom because there's a little bit of a slot on the top. You could almost slip it through, so just be aware of that. So first of all, put that in before you turn it on. Let's see, give me a second. I'm blind as a blind gets. God damn it. Seriously, what the fuck? All right, got it in there. And then go ahead and turn on the printer. And there we have it. There's the printer. It is on. There's only 2 buttons, guys. You have setting and you have file. Let's not worry about the setting. We already took care of that in the last one. Over here, we're going to hit file. It's going to show you everything that's on the disk. Over here, your control buttons are going to just scroll down until I find the one I want. And that's the one I want, the fixed hot rod. And once you select it, you're just going to hit play. Now, before I do that, make sure that there's enough resin in there, which I have to do really quick. Okay. Make sure there's some resin. I'm pouring the resin in now, guys. I'm just going to use the rest that I have in here because I have more coming today. So this will probably be my final print of this one. Okay. Secure. All right, guys. Okay, once you have your resin in there, everything looks... Okay, once you have the resin in there, you go ahead and make sure it's selected and hit play. It's going to ask you if there's any models already on the plate. You go, no, there isn't. You just hit check, and it will now begin printing. And there it goes. Let's watch it go down. It slowly will dip into it and move about as fast as watching paint dry. I'm not lying. This is going to take, let's see, 3 hours and 37 minutes. You see the model right there, what you're printing, and let's just hope for the best. And there it goes, guys. It's going into the resin. All right, guys, so that is the video and unboxing of the longer 3D Orange 10 printer. Thumbs up, guys. This is a great printer, especially for $180 after the coupon code on Amazon. That's crazy. The last time I looked at a resin printer, it was well over $1,000. So to have such a small, space too. I mean, you have so much space to be able to put this just about anywhere. The smell is a little bit weird because it's resin, but it's not so bad. I've smelt other resins. This one I'm using is actually from Longer, but I've used other ones that smell way worse than this. This one actually not bad. Other than that, guys, I think this, I'm going to give a full thumbs up. Longer, awesome. I'm totally stoked on the purchase. I am happy. So, if you're looking for a 3D printer, I'm getting nothing from Longer for this, guys. This is just me. I followed them on Kickstarter, and now I'm actually having it on my desktop, which is totally cool. And again, awesome. Super easy to use. It's a little messy when you have to take the stuff in and out because it's all, wet-based resin. But other than that, awesome. So definitely go pick it up. It's on, I think, Amazon. It's also, I'm sure they sell it through their site. If they don't, they'll have a list of distributors. So there's a lot of copycats out there too. I haven't tried them out. If anybody out there wants to send me theirs to try it out, I'll gladly try it out and put it to the test against the Longer. But I really like this one. I heard the egg glue, or is that what it is? I don't know. You guys tell me. Write it in the comments, guys. Tell me which other ones I should check out. But this is awesome. So I'll see you in one of the next videos. Again, hit the like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you then.